Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Knaxel. So today we're going to be looking at people reacting to different types of heat. Ooh, interesting. The reason we're doing it is because a lot of Europeans have gone to the States now, for obvious reasons, the World Cup, not for the policies, trust me. But they've gone for the World Cup and a lot of people are noticing that the weather is a little bit different than what they're used to in mainland Europe or the UK. So let's get into it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and let's go.
Europeans cannot deal with the American heat. Good luck in the World Cup. This is what Americans have been saying to us Europeans when these pictures resurfaced, which, by the way, just look like men training outside when it's relatively warm.
No, those look like men who are about to have a heart attack. But let's continue.
I sure hope with all this talk about Europeans not being able to deal with Americans' heat means that America will win every single World Cup game, right? What was that? Germany managed in the heat, by the way. Oh, you couldn't handle the heat, America. Ooh. Germany seemed to handle it all right.
Well, football, aka soccer, isn't a native sport to America, so that would explain that. Also, Germany does get incredibly hot in the summer. Yeah, I know it's hard to believe, but the Germany weather, whew. Yeah, it's very hot. Yeah, hot and humid. Yeah, I have lived in Germany for several years. Yeah, it's not to be underestimated. Nein.
Can we remember that the last World Cup was in Qatar? A literal desert? These pictures to me, they just look like men who are training hard for a World Cup.
Again, no, these look like men who are about to suffer cardiac arrest. Probably Brits.
And apparently Norway's team had to stop their game because of the fact that they couldn't handle the heat. I bet you couldn't handle a European winter, and we'll leave it at that. The news publications know that publishing pictures of English people and European countries struggling will get clicks from the Americans. They'll eat it up every single time. I will give £100 to every single person watching this if America wins the World Cup. I will! Europeans are not getting dominated by American heat. Relax.
Well, you don't know until you've been. I mean, I've been to Florida, been to Georgia and New York, and it is incredibly hot in the summer. I was there in the spring as well, so the humidity is not to be underestimated. By the way, I'm going to take you up on that offer, girl. 100 quid if America wins. That would be amazing. Iran versus USA in the final. That's what we want to see.
We just got to confirm that a European team will not be winning the World Cup this year. It will either be a team from North America, Africa, or South America. Because right now, Norway is in the city of North Carolina, where it is 90 degrees and the most humidest it can be. Even more insaner, Norway cut their practice short because of the heat. But it gets even so much more worse when you see that the England team went all the way down to Florida just so they could acclimate to the heat. And they did not realize how hot Florida in the summer is. And even more wilder, the manager for England is already saying that they are not ready for this kind of heat. They're already making excuses for when they don't win. Even more patheticer, none of these teams have even gone more south or down to Mexico. It's not going to get any more better down there. And even more wilder, that video of the France team, they're not even able to think straight. It is literally so much more hotter there than they could have ever expected. But it's honestly pissing me off because if all of these great teams are saying how hot they are, then we are going to get bad soccer this year.
Alright, so the only thing worse than the weather is probably that grammar. So this guy is not more understanding that these European teams are not really used to the humidity. Well, this guy's actually boasting, right? That the European teams aren't ready for the humidity. He is more righter than a lot of people want to give him credit for because they do have to acclimatize to the heat, right? So there's a bit of a battle going on, like people are like on both sides of the Atlantic's going like, we can be hotter, we can also have more humidity, and it's a bit, is this really necessary? I mean, living in a humid environment, I don't know if that's something to brag about. I think that's a reason for mass migration, but that's another topic. And yeah, so let's continue, reluctantly.
And honestly, the USA team might actually have home field advantage this year. Who's going to win the World Cup this year?
Okay, I fully agree with the sentiment that it is going to be a team who has grown up in the heat and has always played in humid conditions. No Scandinavian team is going to win this. Alright, let's go on to our next dude, see what he has to say.
Europeans are absolutely struggling in this American heat before the World Cup. Look at these guys lying out there. Harry Kane, absolutely struggling. This is going to be fun this summer because I've got some news for you, Europeans. It's not even that hot yet. Like, it's about 88 degrees right now, which is, I think, 31 Celsius for you Europeans. And you know what? I think this feels nice. Like, this actually, to me, is about ideal temperature. I am perfectly comfortable in this. But you guys can't handle the heat.
Thank you for clarifying that. I am also on metric, as someone who's lived in Germany for a long time. And 31 degrees, it's a nice temperature. But 31 degrees in humid conditions? Not very nice. I'm actually impressed that this dude is American and do those kind of tricks with the football. I mean, I'm not a football player. Shock. I have not watched a single match so far, but I am going to watch Germany tonight. So we'll see how they fare.
Like, this actually, to me, is about ideal temperature. I am perfectly comfortable in this.
I believe we might be feeling a little too comfortable. Get those legs out of my face. Okay, so our next lady also has something to say on the subject of heat and humidity. Europeans are dying because they are too stubborn. You know what? I'm intrigued. There could be a certain truth to that. Let's see what she has to say.
Europeans are dying simply because they are too stubborn to change. The United States climate is much more extreme than the majority of Europe. I know that this is a pretty big generalization because there's a few spots in the United States that have a very cold climate, and there's a few spots in Europe where there are some countries that are very warm. But generally, America is both more hot and more humid than the whole of Europe. And yet, even in the coldest spots of Europe, their heat stroke rates are significantly higher than America's heat stroke rate. Why are they dying of a heat stroke at a much higher rate than us when we have a much more extreme climate than them?
Alright, yes and no. So, as someone who lived in Berlin for a long time, I can tell you, the Berlin summers are gruesome. It is like being inside of Satan's asshole. London's terrible, Paris is awful, Berlin is a death sentence. The Germans do not believe in AC whatsoever, she's absolutely right, because the government just refuses to accept the fact that these cities are heat traps nowadays. And they possibly weren't 30, 40 years ago, but now with climate change, and you've got all those cars, all that pollution, very densely built, the buildings store the heat, and ironically, it's actually hotter come 6, 7 o'clock in the evening when the sun is starting to dip, and the sweat is just something else. The sweat doesn't even run down your face. It just sticks to your face. It's like you've put your head in a box of Vaseline or oil. Disgusting. God, this video is so boring. Regardless, we need to talk about heat and humidity and heat strokes. Onwards and upwards. Let's check out this next guy.
God, Americans are just pampered and lazy when it comes to the heat. They don't get how bad the heat is up here. They can't even, manage it. It's also why we're gonna dominate the World Cup, because we're used to the heat. We're used to the intensity. All these Americans are just pampered by air conditioning. Why is it so hot? Why is it so hot? I can't move. Somebody kill me.
Yeah, that's pretty much every Brit who goes to the States the first time. Yeah, he's got it. That's mainly us. We up the ante a little bit more, I feel. Alright, so our next clip is a Brit who has been living in the States for a number of years, and she is going to talk to us about the heat and humidity, because that's our topic of the day. And let's see what she has to say.
So I'm British and I've been living in the USA for over 10 years. Just moved to Texas from living on the East Coast the whole time. And let me tell you, it is the 26th of December. That's right, Boxing Day. And it is currently 27 degrees Celsius outside. Never in my life have I experienced this kind of heat.
Oh, that's pretty nice. Having a nice hot day, 27 degrees on Boxing Day. You could just cook your Christmas meal outside. Get that goose and turkey on the grill. Get some roasties on there. That's well nice. 27 degrees Boxing Day. I'm down with that.
I'm literally in a tank top right now. Like, what is this? And it's just making me wonder what the fuck the summer is gonna be like here. Shit.
Well, surely you knew that before you moved to Texas. It's not like you moved directly from the UK there. But yeah, I think the Texas summer is going to be a little bit more than 27 degrees. I think we once had a winter where it was 21 degrees on the 25th of December. We were like, whoa, what's happening? It was a one-off. Okay, here we got an American who's actually spent the summer in the UK, and we'll see what he has to say. I think we'll get a bit of a new perspective.
A lot of videos about people making fun of them, saying that their UK summer is so hot because it's like 80 degrees, and 80 degrees is a common day in most of America. And people from the UK are like, you don't understand, it's humid, it's humid, it's humid. And I think you guys are not getting your point across because most of America is humid.
Well, yes, we're not getting our point across because people just think they say the dreaded H word and then everyone will be like, humid! But it's more than that. It's the trapped heat that you find everywhere. No AC, God forbid if you're unlucky enough to be on the London Underground in the summer. Yeah, the train is god awful. That should be illegal, technically.
Degrees. So, and then the sun's beaming, you're dying over there. It's bad. Unless you experience a UK summer and the heat waves that are like 80 degrees, 80-degree heat waves there probably feel like triple digits in New York.
Granted, our media outlets do go a little bit crazy here. 26 degrees, and they are classified as heat waves, but to me, it's just summer. For most of the world, it is just a summer, basically.
I can't even describe it because in New York, we still have AC. There's AC everywhere in America. Like, I just got to Berlin today, and I landed in the airport, and the AC had to be on 80 degrees. I'm sweating in the airport. They just don't use AC. Yeah, there's no AC. There's no AC.
Yeah, so the rare instances that you will find AC in Europe, particularly Germany, and the AC is like on a warmish temperature. So basically, slightly less hotter air is being blown around where the hot air is accumulated. The Germans don't trust it. They think they'll get a stiff neck or catch a cold. So it's also a lot of cultural differences that are going on. That's all I've got for you guys now. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button, and I'll see you on the next one.